So how's it going, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we have a Master Duel deck profile for you guys today, and this is in relation to the 3 decks that we have actually tackled on the previous video. Now one of the decks that I've actually talked about is Cubic. Now basically people are grinding themselves out with Crusaders, a ton of zombie decks. But so far, I haven't seen players use Cubic. Now, Cubic is really a good OTK deck that really lives up to its reputation as an OTK deck. And I'll show you why. So first and foremost, we go for match history, and you'll see here we got all wins here, except for the one we have a draw because I think we're going up against Paleozoic here, so that's why it's 7 turns. But anyways, like I said, the good thing about Cubics is its ability to OTK during your second turn. Also Crimson Nova is unaffected by any monster effects with 3k or lower attack. So that's pretty good for a monster on the field. So with the deck profile, we have 3 Vidjums, a very good blocker or pretty good defense if ever you don't have the Crimson Nova, or you can't even summon the Crimson Nova during your turn. So having Vidjum on the field, if ever it's going to be attacked, it's not going to be destroyed by battle, and it has a special or a unique effect where you can even attach a cubic counter to the attacking monster. And the ones with cubic counters, most of the effects here for that attaches a cubic counter on your opponent's side, well, their effects won't be activated, and second of all, they can't attack. So that's a pretty good effect. Basically, your go-to cards here for bringing out your Crimson Nova is your Doza, and of course your Foolish Burial Goods. Now your ace card will be for bringing out more cards to your graveyard is the Reasoning card, and this allows you to drop a ton of cards to your graveyard which have a floating effect. So mainly your targeted cards for this to be in the graveyard is your Cubic Karma and your Cubic Dharma. Cubic Karma, if in the graveyard, you can bring out a copy of any cubic monster that is in the deck, and Cubic Dharma, you can return one monster or cubic monster from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a pretty good effect. And most of the cards, or basically all of the cards for the Cubic deck, is not a hard ones per turn. So you can actually use it to its full potential even if it's negated. So that's a pretty good effect. Other than that, we have your back row removal, Harpy's Feather Duster, your Lightning Storm, your Twin Twister, 1 copy of Twin Twister, 1 copy of Forbidden Droplet for negates. Now we're not running any Maxi or Ash Blossom because we don't need it. So that is basically your main deck. Your extra deck just revolves on a ton of cards that you don't really need. But in situational purposes, just bring out a level 4 Exe monster for that matter, or level 10 Exe monster. But so far, you don't really need the Exe level 4s or Exe level 10s because they'll be used for Pot of Extravagance to draw 2 cards. So it's pretty good. It's pretty useful for the Pot of Extravagance card. So extra deck, it's really up to you what you'll put in your extra deck. It doesn't really matter. You'll focus mostly on your main deck here, guys, and with most of the boss monsters being forbidden or banned during this event, then you don't have a problem just attacking freely to your opponent. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's go towards the replays. So here we are with the deck replays or the game replays, and there we have 5 replays for you guys today. And don't worry, it's not really that long since most of the time we'll just end it on a second or third game, basically. So let's start. We have a starting hand of Vidjum, the Cubic Seed, 1 Doza, 1 Buster Gundil, 1 Twin Twister, and 1 Cubic Wave. So our opponent is going first, and like I said, people are using mostly Crusaders in this meta, but there are some that are actually using I think Stardust decks that I've battled so far. But our opponent is using what you call this? Weather Painters. So we go Twin Twister, pop the trap card and the field, and then he chained with Maxi for that matter. I'm not sure if he knows the effect of the cubic cards, but I think it's probably the reason why he actually dropped the Maxi. Regardless, it's not really a problem because we actually won the game at this point on. So Doza will bring out and send to the graveyard 1 Karma. Karma will bring out a copy of Crimson Nova. Crimson Nova will reveal 3 cubic cards and special summon it to the field, and use the effect of Wave to double its attack. So any monster destroyed by Crimson Nova will have the ability to attack again for 6,000. And the best part about this, it burns for 3,000 during the end phase. So that's basically the shortest game replay there is. That's game number 1. So game number 2, I think this is the Crusadia player that we dealt with. So we have Giragule, 1 Crimson Nova, 1 Harpy Spinner, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 Extrav. So our opponent is going first. Is this a Crusadia? I'm not pretty sure. Or I think this is the Arcus one. Let's see. Oh no, that's not the one. Okay, basically he just set 1 back row. Forgot about this gameplay. So Extra is used just to bait out an Ash Blossom, because Reasoning is the most important card in your deck or in your arsenal. So Foolish Burial, send out Karma, and then once we know that he doesn't have any Ash Blossom, we use Reasoning. And then a ton of cards have been drawn into or sent to the graveyard for that matter. There we go. We have 1 Karma, 2 Karmas, 1 Dharma, and so basically the purpose of most of the cubic cards is not mainly for reveal, but most of them has a good effect if they are in the graveyard. So that's why we have to put them in the graveyard. Cubic Karma will bring out a copy of Doza, and then the Dharma will bring out a copy of the Crimson Nova. So at this point, we already have a good cards on our arsenal, or more than an OTK actually. So Crimson reveals 3, and then summon another Crimson monster. Now we can just normal summon Doza, but at this point on, we don't need to. So Karma has a unique effect, sending our V-Jump to the graveyard to increase the attack of our 1 Crimson or 1 cubic monster. So that's the 5,400 attack. So our game number 3, we have a copy of Vijam, 1 Cubic Wave, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Unification, and 1 Casualty. So our opponent's starting off first. I think this is I'm pretty sure this is the Crusadia deck that we're going up against. So he just set 2 back rows and end his turn. We use the effect of Foolish Burial Goods, sending a Karma, and getting supposedly Crimson Nova, but we got Ash Blossom. So at this point here, I should have set Vijam, which is not really a problem because I was just testing the deck out if he ever has something. But luckily, he bricked. So one of the problems with Crusadia is bricking. So that's why he just normal summons this monster. So pass it on to me and use the effect of Dharma, sending 1 card to the graveyard, and then bring a copy of the Unification. Effect of Karma in the grave, we summon our Crimson Nova or bring forth our Crimson Nova and then summon it. Effect of Cubic Wave, doubles the attack and halves the attack of 1 monster on your opponent's field. And that's basically game. At this point on, doesn't really matter if he imperms us. So, ladies and gents, 4th game, we have 1 Karma, 1 Wave, 2 Extrav, and 1 Dharma. So, in case you're wondering what will happen if you have 2 or 3 copies of Wave, well, basically, it doubles the attack of that specific cubic monster. It's not a hard once per turn. All the cards are not a hard once per turn. So, there we go. Our opponent is starting first. Going with Planner Patrol, using Endangered Bigfoot, sending the Imperm and summoning Bigfoot to the field. Set 1 back row. Discard 1 Plunder Patrol and get Whitebeard. Whitebeard is then normal summon. And then link off into Bluebeard. Oh, Blackbeard. Sorry, Blackbeard. Then since Whitebeard is sent to the graveyard, we summon our his Bluebeard, yeah. So we got a ton of draw power. So start off with Pot of Extravagance. Draw 2 cards. Luckily he doesn't have an Ash Blossom. We go Foolish Burial Goods, sending our Karma. And then we use a Karma's effect, getting a copy of our Crimson Nova. Use the effect of Reasoning to send forth all the cards or almost all the cards to the grave. And I think he doesn't know the effect of the cubic monsters, so basically called 10. So Doza is going to be summoned to the field. Use the effect of Doza. and he chained with Blackbeard. So Karma is sent to the graveyard. Karma will bring out another copy of a cubic monster. I think Crimson Nova is still our go-to card right here. So there we go. And then Spell Summon the 2 Novas. And then use the Crimson Wave. Or the Cubic Wave. Crimson Wave. Cubic Wave. There we go. Doubles attack. And then use the effect for Karma once more. Increase the attack of our Crimson Nova. Attack for 7,600 and end our turn. Oh wait, we didn't end our turn here. Forgot. I was supposed to end my turn, but yeah. So last game, guys, we have 1 Crimson Nova, 1 Karma, 1 Extrav, and 1 Cubic Ascension, and 1 Casualty. So our opponent starting first. I think this is the Synchro deck that I was talking about. So let's just fast forward this. Normal Summon Junk Synchron, Spell Summon the Junk Converter. So he did a ton of combos here, which we can just easily destroy. There we go. Just letting him do the combos doesn't really matter, as long as that those monsters that he summoned is not 3k or above. That's not a problem for us. So Herald has been summoned to the field, and I'm pretty sure that that's one of our problems right there. So one thing to take note, before even summoning the Crimson Nova to the field, it's still affected by effects of monsters. So I'll show you guys what happens. So getting Karma, he negates with the Herald. Use the effect of Karma, bringing forth another copy of Crimson Nova, revealing 3, and then Spell Summon. Use the effect of Stardust Warrior, and that's why that's what happens actually. And that's basically game. DK burn. So that's one of the reasons there is a possibility that the game might be a draw. There we go. So the effect of this card right here is Cubic Casualty. It can actually distribute a Cubic counter to any monster on your opponent's side of the field. So it negates, and also it prevents that monster from attacking. So it's a pretty good effect. And it also has a good or a unique effect in the graveyard as well. But regardless, we don't need to use that effect. On our turn, we got Pot of Extravagance. Use the effect. That's basically game right there. So that is the deck replays, guys, and hope you enjoyed this kind of replays. So those are the replays, and that is the deck profile. So I'll see you again in the next video, guys, for Crusadia and the zombie deck that I made. Hopefully we'll not actually tweak that much for those cards, but let's see. So that's it for today. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe, support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.